Okay, hello everybody. This is super exciting. My name is Naraya. I'm coming to you from the Turning of the Ages Mystery School with another episode of the Seed People Spotlight, where I introduce you to some of the incredible and diverse people who are in one way or the other associated with this school. If you have not yet heard about what we call the Seed People approach, I'll pop the link to some information about that in the box below, so you can look up about that. But in general, what that means is that as Seed People, we really dream the myth forward into the new earth and the more beautiful world that we all now know is possible to create from the perspective of the TOTAMS Astrology approach. Today, I have the absolute super pleasure to be here with Lorena Sabugal, who is, Lorena, you are welcome. That's the first
Thank
thing.
you.
Welcome you with all my heart.
Thank you.
You're calling in from Barcelona, right?
Yeah, exactly, where I live.
And just for people to know, I am currently calling in from the heart of Africa. I'm somewhere on a lake shore in Kenya. So we really also are quite an international crowd here. And Lorena is with the school as a student. And so I found it very exciting to also kind of try and get hold to someone who is not a teacher or a certified astrologer yet, or a mentor or anything, or council member, anything of that official type, a student. And so that is what we want to zoom in here a little bit today. We've had a little pre-chat, and I know Lorena and I, we could possibly chat for like 3 or 4 hours without taking a breath easily. So our biggest challenge here will probably be to keep a little bit on time.
Yeah,
so,
we will.
Lorena, if you were just simply to introduce yourself a little and just take it away.
Okay, so first of all, I wanted to say that I speak very quickly. Generally, I do it in Spanish, and maybe I do it sometimes in English as well, when I get very excited. So I know that my accent can be a little difficult to get at the beginning if you are not used to like this Spanish accent. So if you see that I speak very quick, you just go like this, and I will slow down a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So, you just said I live in Barcelona, and okay, what do I say about myself? Truly, I was thinking not something very personal. I mean, like my life, because it would be like a really long chat to talk about everything that has happened to me up until now. I'm 52. But what I just wanted to like say is that I'm absolutely and totally in love with totems, with this shamanic astrology paradigm since I've met it. It's like, it's really, I will talk more about it later, but it really has changed my life and the view I have of myself and the view I have of the world and the future and my relationship with people, the relationship of people with me, you know. And it's still changing many things because it's just the beginning for me, you know. I can feel that I'm like at a starting point, because the past 3 years and a half, I've been having like I don't want to call it a disease because it's not a disease. It's been just like a health issue, but it has really limited my life in many ways. And just since last year, more or less, I'm starting to feel much better and starting to do small things that I couldn't do like 3 years ago. And the biggest thing that I've done lately, which I will talk about more later, is the trip to Ohio. And it's been amazing, really. I think I was over there for almost 2 weeks, and I completely forgot as of my health issue. It was like so calm. It was like magic, really, something really magical. So
yeah, Lorena, before we go there, and I really want to hear about your experience in Ohio and with the actual in-person coming together as community, as a group, and doing the thing, the Eclipse experience there. Maybe you share a bit about how you even found the school, how you found out about it, and for how long you've been with it, where you are in your studying process, and those kind of things.
Okay, so I started. I think I found out about TOTAMS. It was like May last year, more or less, and I enrolled in the first course in August. But the thing was that last January in 2023, I don't know why one night I'm living with my mom right now, and we have a balcony. And one night I came outside and I'd look at the sky and I was like absolutely and completely amazed by the stars and the planets. It was just such a nice, clear night that the stars and the planets were like shining so bright. And it's not that I had never seen the sky before, but I think that I had never paid really conscious, present attention. You know my point? It was like, so
Absolutely.
anyway, I think I think I fell in love with the sky at that moment, and I started, because I didn't know anything about the stars or the constellations or even the planets really. I just downloaded one of those free applications in which you can go like this, and it tells you what star that is in what constellation, and then for the day after I started Googling and stuff. So I began with that. And then one night I saw Venus and I was like, what's that super bright? I thought it was a star at the beginning, star over there. And I saw that it was Venus and I was just completely amazed. So I started researching as well about Venus. And I found one thing and then another one and then another one. And then one thing took me to another one. And I read something about Venus in shamanic astrology and it took me to totems and boom, magic happened, So at the beginning, I just enrolled in, the free membership that we have, in which you just can enroll and you have so many free things and so much information. And there's that forum over there. And I start reading everything that was there and maybe sharing just little things because I hadn't begun studying shamanic astrology yet. And then there was like an option at that time that if you enroll in the free community forum, you got the basic course, that one that is very short, for free. The first one. So I got it and I took it. And I said, okay, I want to know more about this. So that's why when I enrolled in course one and I applied for premium membership because I think it's super amazing. I mean, it gives you so much information. That's one of the things that I love about this school and about Daniel and about the people over there. Everyone is so generous with what they know, their knowledge, It's not a matter of I share my knowledge and you give me money in return. You know what I mean? It's not a matter of a commercial thing it's a matter of really, I know about something and I want to share it with the world, because it's a need to share it. Maybe it's because I'm Sagittarius Venus that I have this need of whatever I learn, share it with the world, But it's one of the things that I love about this school, like so many things over there that you can learn. And so I just took the first one and then I enrolled for the second one and I'm 70% on. I still have 30% to finish. And then I will take the third one, the fourth one, and the fifth. Well, I took the fifth one in person. But before going to Ohio, I didn't have any intention of certifying as an astrologer. I was just taking it easy, because I think the first part, I have a Saturn complex, which means that Saturn is really important for me in my life. And it gives me many gifts, but at the same time, it has given me many challenges up until now, in which I have come to know Saturn in a completely different way. For me, from now on, it's a she Saturn. It's not a he patriarchal Saturn. So it's amazing the difference when I look at my natal chart, how I used to see it and how I see it now. Anyway, my point was that the first half of my life, it was all about doing an effort and being very, really disciplined and following the goal and achieving it and having results. And I had to be perfect to be loved and, you know, all that stuff. And since I became after my Chiron return, probably, I began being so relaxed. Like, I don't want to be like that anymore. I think now I'm on the other side. It's just, I don't want to do anything that way. I don't want to do anything out of responsibility or thinking that that is going to make me better or different than I am, you know? I just want to do it for the pleasure of doing it, because I love doing it, because I feel alive while I do it, you know? And so I just decided that I was going to do all the TOTAM courses, but at my own rhythm, you know, one by one. And I didn't want to do the certification, because for me, in my mind, in my Saturnian mind, it was kind of an exam, you know, and I was like, I don't want to pass any more exams. I don't want to go to university again, you know. So anyway, after like this because I think I've been for 9 months already. Agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre, enero, febrero, marzo, abril. Yeah, 9 months, like a pregnancy. So now I do want to get certified, but I want to do it anyway at my own rhythm as well, you know. So I'm just going to finish the second course. I already did the in-person 5th one, and I'm going to take it online as well. Then I will do the 3rd one and the 4th one, and then I will choose a project, and, you know, but little by little. And I'm so super.
Yeah, no, it's so inspiring. And, you know, I promise whoever is watching this, I did not engage with Lorena in this way for her to do all that marketing for this.
It's just, I mean,
having said that, you know, as a school, one of our strongest pillars also for us to enable us to offer so much with generous hearts to the general public for free or at very low prices is the membership. So if you're not yet a member, and I'm currently really trying to drive that through our newsletters as well, and social media posts, look into membership. I'll pop that in the description box below as well. The basic membership, if I'm not mistaken, is only $75 a year, and you get a whole ton of free stuff for that. And the premium membership is $200 a year, but again, it gives you tons and tons and tons of access to live Zoom classes with Daniel, with other people. So it really has, and many, many other perks. It has great, great value. But what I love also about how you're sharing here, Lorena, is just this unbridled enthusiasm that you're bringing to this. And it really is so heartfelt, you know, it really comes from the heart rather than from some intellectual understanding. Oh, I want to study astrology kind of thing, you know, something has really ignited in your heart. What I also loved about what you were sharing was this epiphany that you were describing, standing on the balcony and then looking at the stars, and suddenly that's how I personally experienced it, and it sounded as if that was your experience as well. They started calling you, or they started speaking to you and say, hey, you go and get to know us better or at all. And that was my input into, or my entryway as well. It was the living sky calling and saying, hey, you know, look into this, develop a relationship, a personal relationship with the living night sky, as above, so below, and then reflecting that on the inside. And I find that so super, super valuable here. So moving on from that, so with flying flags then, despite health issue and all, you made your way all the way from Spain to Ohio to join the TOTAMS Eclipse event. I had not been there in person, in spirit though, you know, I can be everywhere at all times, and I certainly was there with you. But you were there in person, and one of the things that I really appreciate most about the school is that there's so few in-person events happening, especially in the entire world of astrology. since the events of a couple of years ago, we know that almost everything has moved online. And though we offer also a lot of stuff online, there's a huge value given to these in-person events, because we know that ignites the intentions of each and everyone, and the overall intention of the school to make a positive contribution to and at this turning of the ages in ways that online get-togethers can just simply not provide. It needs the human heart-to-heart, soul-to-soul. So I would love to hear more about your experience there and what that has done for you.
Oh, yeah. What you just said was one of them. This thing about the person to person, you know, like the heart contact and the hugging. We Spanish people hug a lot, but I personally, I'm such a hugger. I mean, every morning or every time they were leaving, I was giving hugs and giving kisses. And probably they thought, I remember talking to Elise, and she was like, American people maybe don't hug or kiss that much. She said in general, you know, like really a generalization. And she said, like, and you were all the time like hugging and kissing and it's like this, you know. But anyway, yeah, that's one of the things that I really, really loved. The thing about meeting in person the people that I had seen on the screen for like 9 months, you know. And what I did is, instead of going only to the week of the event, I went like 4 days in advance, and then I stayed like for 3 days after. So for the first 4 days, I contacted Vivian from the school as well. She's in the she's the one that is managing the TOTAMS Facebook group. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and she was organizing this event. So she was one of our event organizers for this one. So yeah, as she lives in that area, you know, she knows all these places. So she got for us and where to go. Mm-hmm.
And such an amazing knowledge in everything that has to do with the earthworks and the mounds and the sites over there in Ohio. She did a presentation. It was amazing, really. And the thing is that I contacted her because I knew she was from Cincinnati and I didn't know where to stay. And I just said like, okay, so I'm going to contact her because she's from there. I saw it somewhere in the forum or in Facebook, and she can tell me where I can stay. So, well, like, to make a really long story short, she said like, oh, you can come to my house and stay here with us. And I said like, okay. But I thought it was going to be more like I was going to be in a room and I was going to have to go to the grocery shop and go and buy my own groceries. And she and her partner would be doing, Scott, they would be doing their thing and I would be doing my thing. And when I arrived over there, it was like, oh my goodness, open house, open arms, open heart, open everything. I mean, it was so amazing, both of them. They made me feel like so much as if I was part of their family. Oh, really? I get super emotional when I think about it, but I mean, I'm gonna love them forever. It's amazing. So I stayed with them for the 4 days. And then we went to the place where we were having the event on a Friday, and we stayed there until the following one. And the event was something unbelievable, because the day we arrived, it was the day after we arrived, it was when when Venus was at the 8th gate of death by intent. So it was like a really potent, magical moment. And the day after, we went to see the eclipse. I had never, ever in my life seen an eclipse. And when I decided that I was gonna go to see it, I also decided that I wasn't gonna read absolutely anything about it, because I just wanted it to be a complete surprise. You know, I didn't want to be like with so much information. And the only thing that I knew, because I read it or somebody told me, was that during an eclipse, the birds and the animals stay completely silent. That was the only thing that I knew. I didn't know anything else. My goodness, the experience, it was amazing. We stay all together as a group because we were like 22, and we stay over there like in a place under a tree, just below the mount, like the sacred mount over there, with an amazing energy. And when the moon started being over the sun, and then it got all dark, and I could see Venus during the day, and I could see Jupiter, and it was just, oh my goodness, like an explosion of the heart. Really, I was saying, like, I was crying the whole time after. I couldn't stop crying because it was just like a boom, you know, like open, and so much heat coming from here, and really amazing. And that we did like a circle, and each of us talk about our intentions for the future, and it was so beautiful, really amazing, potent, beautiful.
That is amazing. Yeah, that is, and I can see, you know, you're really still completely glowing, and inside that experience, it reminds me very much of what is so pertinent at this bottoming out of the Kali Yuga. You know, we have all these presentations that Daniel put together and his research about the 6 converging timelines and the bottoming out of Kali Yuga.
Yeah.
Whilst we don't yet exactly know what's going to happen at the end of that, we do know that this is the most potent time where we can use our spiritual will, and must maybe use our spiritual will to open the heart. And it sounds like you didn't have to bring any will, you know, that was the experience of that eclipse that did that for you, to break the heart so wide open. And I always say, you know, that is the what I call positive heartbreak. You know, when as a Pisces rising, I know something about that, I believe. You know, when the universal mother love comes in such a strong way that it literally breaks your heart wide open, and there's nothing you can do. You can only lean into it, and that automatically induces a lot of tears and sweat to flow as well in the body, that emotion. And then thereafter, it's like the heart will contract a little bit again, but just a little. So it will be much more spacious now to hold this vibration of what I would call cosmic mother love. And, you know, that's the way you are describing it, and the way you even look, you know, with the energy, the Kundalini, the fire coming up is really like exactly that type of heartbreak open in the most positive way that I can imagine. So
Yeah.
it really is magical, wonderful.
Yeah.
And so is there anything else you would want to add to the eclipse experience? Then feel free.
Well, yeah, the thing is that exactly what you said, you know, like this opening stayed with me, like still here, but of course, it's a little bit closed now, because of course I've been dealing since I've came back with all the things in my current life in Barcelona, you know, which is, well, my things. But anyway, over there, it was like the whole week was amazing, because we afterwards took the 5th course, which was about the synodic cycles of the planets, of the moon and Venus and Mars and Mercury. And it was amazing, really, because I learned so much. The people were amazing. We had fun. We laughed. We talked. Oh, it was really, for me, it was perfect. We slept, well, some people slept in one of the houses, some people slept on the other one, and we always met at the same place. It was a really, really enjoyable time. And I love synodic cycles because they have also to do with the sky as well as one of the courses, you know, of course, with our natal chart, but you can go out there and see what is going on with those planets at the time it's happening, you know. So, and I've met such good friends, really, family and friends. It was
Wonderful.
amazing.
It's so heartwarming for me to hear that as well. And just again, for everybody who is watching, if you don't know yet anything about synodic cycles, or all of this is still woo-woo to you, one of the things I would really want to offer and recommend is that we've been having this, we pulled this group together that is the Inana Journey with Mars revisioned, which is offered once a month normally over the entire length of Venus journey, where also the Mars journey, so all the synodic cycles, we kind of come together as a ceremony, and different people share different things. And I'm saying that because that group, we decided, so now that Venus has officially gone into the underworld and will come out of that, I believe sometime in July, 10th or 11th of July, we decided to actually open that group up again for the ascending journey. So Venus will come out of the underworld and then clear in the Inanna myth. You can read up about that, each of the gates on her way up, which is associated with the respective chakras in our body. And so for every one of these gates, there will be another call. And if you feel called to join that, then again, watch out what's happening on our website with the newsletter that I'm sending you every 2 weeks. All the information will eventually be in there. And maybe if we're very lucky, Daniel and Shiva will also make another little video of some kind as an introduction to the ascending journey. So that's something to look forward to coming up here in the near future. And also on a very different note, but I know, Lorena, because this has literally set you so much on fire and you are shining like the sun itself across the screen here, which is beautiful. You have put already so many suggestions into the school, so much things that you're just volunteering. I know you have created, and I assisted a little bit with that, but that is your initiative and your project, Spanish-speaking Facebook group. So if anybody who is watching this or who knows anybody who are Spanish speakers, please look out for that. Lorena has started to translate some things into Spanish. And I think there is more of that type to come, which you yourself can better describe than I do.
What I'm doing is I'm going through articles from the website, and I'm trying to get the ones that are quite like for people who don't know anything about shamanic astrology, more than sharing like things that are more advanced or whatever, so that whomever gets in the group can get a little bit of knowledge of what shamanic astrology is about and what the differences are between mainstream astrology and shamanic astrology, and how the paradigm works and what each planet means and the archetypes. And, you know, my idea is to go little by little with that. That doesn't mean that sometimes when I read something that some of you publish and I think that it's super interesting, I'm also going to translate it and put it over there, because I know that there are people already from TOTAMS who are Spanish speakers, and they are over there as well, so they can read it as well. You know, they can do both things, read it in English and read it in Spanish. But my idea is to make it like a little, like quite easy at the beginning, you know, and maybe share short things so that people can really get to know what the paradigm is, and then choose, you know, to keep reading and investigating.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And if I'm not mistaken, and if I might divulge that here, you even think about, contemplate contemplate translating the entire handbook into Spanish, right? So there's someone else, another beloved member of our school, Estella, and you, I think, are going to collaborate on that. So that would be wonderful as well. There's so far no translation of the Shamanic Astrology Handbook into any other language than English yet. I've been considering German because I'm a native German speaker, but I'm not sure whether I still manage that in this lifetime.
Oh, well, maybe in the future.
Maybe in the next lifetime or something like that, or maybe when and have nothing else to do, right? But no, I'm really find that hugely inspiring, because obviously Spanish is the next, apart from Chinese, obviously next most popular and spoken language that we need to get into. So that's really, really wonderful, and I really personally and on behalf of the school want to thank you for those contributions. It's just hugely helpful. And if I may say that, to me, as a Pisces rising and with many other aspects, you know, what I always find even more that I would like to say thank you for is that super enthusiasm and the love and the heart that you're bringing to everything that you're offering here. And I'm sure, you know, on the path of your further studies, you learn so much. And I know you have such a keen intellect, you know, you just pick it up, you sponge it up, and you will know very well how to really metabolize all of that. And I'm absolutely sure you'll make a fantastic, excellent TOTAMS astrologer once you get through the whole thing, even, you know, once you get foundationally certified. And looking forward to seeing you bringing that into the world and really applying, not only in your own life, but also as something that hugely assists other people at this great turning of the ages. So,
and there's a third project.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have on 3 projects, and the third is so exciting as well.
Of course, my goodness, yes. And that's, I mean, for me personally, that's even the most exciting one. Maybe that's why it didn't come to me, because I find it so magical that it's like, oh. Okay, go ahead. I know what it is.
That 2026, 2027, and 2028, there are 3 eclipses that are going to go through Spain. So the first one is the first one is the best one. And I'm starting to research everything, and in 2026 the eclipse is gonna go like from northwest of Spain, and then it's gonna go northeast, and end up in Mallorca, in the Baleares Islands. And so we already decided that we are gonna do a gathering in the Basque Country, and it's gonna be a gathering to watch the eclipse and to do a course 3 of TOTAMS, which is
wonderful. That is so super wonderful. So that is the next total solar, I mean, there are total solar eclipses in between that, but they are in very odd places on the globe, like Antarctica or wherever you can see those, you know. We won't make it there, but we're hugely excited for this next eclipse that goes across Spain, and Lorena will be and is already in the process of setting that up for us. I might even live in Spain at that time, and I'm hugely interested in assisting that in any way. So that will be the next big eclipse gathering. And if I remember that correctly, is that August of 2026?
Yes, it's 12 August 2026. And then there will be the course, which is about relationships, which is about, well, seeing us and everything. But I mean, relationships, everything that we all the relationship, we all need to know more about conscious. We were talking about this before starting the interview. Is something so important in the world, to know how to relate with others with respect and with love and with compassion and with empathy, without judging, you know, without criticizing or without excluding, the other way around, you know, like opening our minds and our hearts and just accepting, you know. It's not, and really understanding that we don't have the truth, you know, because for me, for example, being that Venus in Sagittarius, during so many years of my life, I've been having the truth. My truth is the truth, you know, like, because it can be the shadow of the archetype, can be a little fanatic, you know. It's like, no, that's my truth. And it's not like that, you know. I mean, the more I know about you, the more I'm going to learn, because you're going to, knowing about you and sharing with you and being open, it's going to open my mind at the same time. So it's going to make the world bigger, not smaller.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for me personally, the relationship work and the approach to that Daniel has developed and the school is offering is the absolute leading edge of what the school has to offer. I personally feel and believe that we are in a crisis of relating. Humanity, or as one of the teachers I follow, she's calling it humanities in the dark ages when it comes to relationships, which I also see everywhere around and have experienced in my own life. And so now, with having this body of knowledge and understanding that the school is offering about relationships, I can integrate so much. about what went not so well in my previous relationships, what went very well that I didn't see at the time because I was maybe invested in the shadow of my lineage, of my moon or whatever, in codependent tendencies, or, you know, the shadow aspects of all the archetypes that make up my own chart. So I find that is hugely important. So anybody who wants to know more about that, have a look at the course 3 that we have on the website. And there's also various articles about the inner sacred marriage and what that means, and that it's not only a way of relating. So that is basically almost the second step of this. It's a way of coming to inner wholeness within ourselves, so that we don't project unconsciously and unnecessarily our own, what we call the opposite sex planet archetype, onto our surroundings, and then expect our partners, whoever they might be, to behave in those certain ways, whilst they're not that. They are a different expression, maybe either of the masculine or the feminine, it doesn't matter. And we can't even see that. So to me, that really is the leading edge. So I would hugely look forward to that. And but before that, I just want to pop that in here as well. We have probably a couple more in-person gatherings that we cherish so much. And the very next one, where we still have 2 rooms available, is the annual TOTAMS gathering. And this time it will be in Scotland, on the Outer Hebrides, on the Isle of Lewis, at the absolutely epic Callanish stone monument, which is 6,000 years old and described as the Woodstock or the Stonehenge of the North. And we are coming together there for the lunar standstill. So that's a very, very specific feature there, where it is said the moon walks on the land. I've actually seen it 19 or more than 19 years ago. Not knowing what it was back then, just marveling, saying, what's that? I've never seen such a thing, where the moon is basically just not lifting off the horizon, but just getting birthed out of the belly of a hill that looks like a sleeping woman on the horizon, and then rolls across her body and sets into her third eye. So that's the magic of Callanish. We will have our annual gathering there. We will go to other sites around that area. There are many, many other circles and ancient sites there. We will have ceremony on the beaches there. We have hired a whole hotel and plus 1 other Airbnb accommodation to get everybody in. And as I said, there are 2, I think, double rooms available still. So anyone who feels like, I want to meet these people, even if you've never been with us, feel encouraged. Others have taken that step. For instance, when we met I'm sure in Ohio as well, there were people like you who've never been meeting anyone in person of this school. And myself, last year in April, also, I went all the way to Arizona and met the people of TOTAMS for the first time. And again, like for Lorena, the rest is history. And
and even people, sorry to interrupt you, but to tell you, even people who don't know about astrology, it was amazing in Ohio because there was this beautiful woman who showed up. She had no idea. She showed up the first day invited just to listen to what we were talking about. She just had the call and she had no idea about astrology, and she stayed and she came to the eclipse. Her name is Chensi, if I pronounce it right, anyway. And she stayed. She even took the course. It was amazing. So what I'm saying is that you really don't even have, I mean, you just have to follow your heart. If for whatever reason you feel like, oh, I gotta go there and see the moon walking on the land, just go. You know my point? But it doesn't matter if there's gonna be talk about astrology or not. If you see, we have to be somewhere, just follow the call, you know, and then the rest, the astrology part, people can explain. That's what we were doing over there with her, you know.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love that, Lorena. So thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to add, to share, to bring into this experience that we're having, that conversation that we're having here together right now?
I could be talking for hours. I mean, I could be talking about because I'm in course 2 now, and I'm so excited and talking about the timeline, which is also so specifically to totems and where we are now at the timeline and the transits and how I can see everything happening in my life, which is like as above, so below. It's amazing, you know, it's like a synchronicity. It happens at the same time. It's not that the planets are affecting us in any way. It's that we are the same thing, you know. I don't know, it's kind of amazing. So yes, I could talk for hours, but I know we don't have the time because it's already 12. So I just wanted to say that I'm absolutely thankful to have met you all, and absolutely honored that you asked me to do the interview, because I really, really would love, it's been super useful for me to understand myself, to accept myself, because I had understood maybe some parts of myself before, but not really, because I had not really accepted them. And now it's just as if I had been carrying a backpack with so many stones, big stones. And now I just took like the biggest, you know, the 2 or 3 biggest. It's amazing, really. And it still has many stones, of course, and probably I will be getting rid of more of them. But it has given me a way of seeing myself that is making me like feel like, oh, you know, it's okay to be how I am. I don't have to be different. I don't have to be like the rest of the world is. I don't have to wish their things. I don't have to do their things. I'm myself, and I have a different path. And maybe I'm not mainstream, but that's super fine. And I'm happy doing what I'm doing, you know? So
Sorry, I'm laughing that you say maybe I'm not mainstream. I mean, to be very honest, it seems that this turning of the ages mystery school is quite a hub for non-mainstream people. You know, we call them unassimilable.
yeah,
I myself included, and there's even this joking quiz going on. You know, how much out of bounds are you? How unassimilable are you with certain parameters on the chart? If your moon is out of bounds, your Venus, your Mars, whatever the case may be, and other, you know, such indicators.
yeah, yeah.
So it's huge fun that we're having there with that as well. And it is a grouping of people who are not necessarily going along with the mainstream. And that's the wonderful thing. So nobody has to take on characteristics of what they're not, right?
Exactly.
People can be really themselves. That's my experience, and I do not find that necessarily in other groups, that I can really feel completely free and be myself the way I am, and sometimes say provocative things that would still be received with love and without being judged and even considered and taken in. So thank you so
Oh,
much, Lorena. I
thank
know we
you.
could also,
Really.
you know, just make a whole series of a whole year of conversations out of this. And who knows what the future will bring. I have a feeling that you and we will meet way before the
In Spain.
Spain eclipse, way before that. I have a
Yeah.
feeling we will meet up in person before that Spain eclipse,
Cool.
but at the very latest, at that eclipse, may it come fast and maybe not so fast, depending on how much space we need to process everything that's going on for ourselves and within the world at the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
And so, yes, just thank you with
Oh,
all my
thank you. My pleasure.
for
Really.
this
An honor.
conversation. Thank you with all my heart for everything you've put forwards into and for the school already, and many more to come. That's
Oh,
all I
yes.
can say about that.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody who's been watching. It's hugely appreciated. Let me know. Just feel free to get in touch with me or with Lorena via our TOTAMS community forum. That's free. You can sign up to that, and people are communicating, they're posting stuff there. So that's always where we can be. found and accessed. You can tag someone with their name if you write a post, and we can take it from there. Thank you very much, and until next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.